So the topic actually, what I have chosen is electric vehicles, the future prospect, right? So when we talk about the future prospect, because the mobility is completely getting changed and electric vehicles are the future, and it is the future now because it has already started in 2013. It's almost 7 years, 7 active years of electric vehicle in automotive industry. And I hope you nowadays you see the lot of events, a lot of government events and projects is already undertaken by a lot of leading industries, and the companies, the automakers also are working on a lot of fronts. So, and this is not a technology of today, right? Electric vehicle came into the into the existence long ago, before the IC came into the picture, if you are aware of it. And this is the era of 1868, 70, somewhere around, right? And the IC vehicles actually come into the existence of 1900s, like when this, before the World War One. So this is the technology we are not talking about, which is currently happening. This technology actually got existed 200 years ago, but there was some limitation. There was not that much of the other. It was have its own challenges, and there was a rising of the oils and everything, and the lobbying happened, and some happened, and uh, IC came into the existence because of its the durability, its of range, of its fueling time. So there are a lot of applications over there. Why IC took the edge on the electric vehicle, and why electric vehicle not gone popular and 200 years back. But why again after 200 years now we are talking about certain of the electric vehicles, not of any other the technology being part of it. So it's quite interesting, the story. I would like to say, if you are interested, there is a documentary also, who killed electric vehicles. Okay, so there is a documentary, you can see, you'll get all the history of electric vehicles, how it got evolved, how it got killed, right? Because it being done, it not got promoted. But now today's time, in 21st century, we see the temptation of the electric vehicle, and it's a necessity because of the pollution. So pollution is the one of the very major concern of not only India, it's a global concern now. And in India, we have the top 7 cities, which are the most populated cities in the top 10 of the world list, right? So for the government, it is a top priority to bring some mobility which can reduce the emission. And I don't know how many of you are aware of that automotive, the contribution of the emission of, what is the contribution of the emission by automotive to the to this our environment. Do you have any idea, anyone? What is the percentage of the emission contribution? Being an automobile and mechanical students, at least you should know now, this is a very important topic, and it's a very important agenda also, because many of you are going to work into even into the IC domain also. Okay, for the NVH and the emission department, we need to know that the emission norms, emissions, the contributions and all. So somewhere around 26% to 28% emission contribution is from the automotive industry to the environment, which it's a huge contribution actually. So government is trying to make a curve on this vehicle, at least introducing with the electric vehicles, where at least it has a zero emission, the concept in that, where the source of the energy is not fuel. Here the source of energy is the battery we are using. So before going forward, let's get a quick just insights on who we are, or what is Autobot India, what we are doing in this space, what we have done so far, okay, and what are our initiatives in electric vehicles before we go forward in the talking on the technology and all. Okay. So basically, Autobot India is a company. We are a completely EV specialized company. We are working in this domain since 2016, and we were become the first company who have introduced the electric vehicle courses, the training programs back in 2016. And we are also working a lot of solution developments for the EV industry in the aspect of the powertrain, in the aspect of the battery testing and the vehicle testing, homologations. Okay. So Autobot India works into the two different departments. One is into the engineering, one is into the education. So we are also the India's only EV specialized Edutech company which offers a lot of solutions into which are into the electric vehicle technology, to industry, to academics, to government, to individuals also, the students or the working professionals. So we have an entire 360-degree solutions available for learning and development for the people who want to get into electric vehicle technology. Like I told you that we are a electric vehicle technology specialized company and with the largest network of the training. We are also MSME, a startup, deep and ISO 299902010 by USA certified. We are also a part of the QP development. It's a kind of a standard of framework development under the Ministry of Skill Development for this automotive industry. So we are also the expert member with Automotive Skill Development Council, which is known as ASDC, for the QP development of electric vehicles, along with our industry partners for the automotive industry. And we have recently also collaborated with ASDC for some of the programs, which is now ASDC certified. And we are also official training partner for Automotive Component Manufacturer Association of India, so ECMA. So ECMA is the topics body of all the component manufacturer industry. It's a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 all. Okay. So we are working with topics automotive bodies since very long. We are engaged with them for bringing our expertise in electric vehicle technology, offering them, building the solution for the industry, how we can actually transform the existing knowledge to electric vehicle for their employees, for their management level, for their the workforce. And also we are parallelly doing the same thing from last 4 years now with the academics. They're doing a lot of these kind of sessions, interacting with the students, the management, talking about giving the awareness of what is the importance, so that at least the right direction to be taken on the right time. This is something of our initiatives we have taken. So time to time we also promote electric vehicle at the large scale. Recently we being be a part in 2019. It is called a Golden Quadrilateral Ride, which was of 6,000 kilometer, and which has been covered. If you can see in the picture, you see this is the auto rickshaw, it's a tuk-tuk, which is completely retrofitted with electric motor and the battery, and also electric it's also retrofitted with the solar rooftop. So on the top we can find a solar roof also. So this was a good experiment, and this, like, a lot of people think that auto rickshaw has its own limitation, like it can only take the journey within the city boundaries. We cannot, it is not made for the long journey, right? But I think this stereotypes being broken with this initiative. And this auto rickshaw actually travels 6,000 kilometers in 60 days into the 60 cities of India. So you can see on the map to my left hand side on the screen, it got started with the Bangalore, went to your Maharashtra, went to North Delhi, then it goes to the Kolkata, and then it come back to Hyderabad, Chennai, and then takes it to Bangalore. So this was a very good, very important journey for us. A lot of interaction with the people, what they think about electric vehicles. Okay, because electric vehicles are very new things. A lot of people do not know what is electric vehicles in tier 2 and tier 3 tier city. So it was just an awareness for the people to create an awareness for them to this is the technology, this is the vehicles do exist, and we this is can be done, which is friendly to the environment. Okay, so I think lot of curiosity comes from the people, except the price, because still we have the quite costly the expensive electric vehicles right now. But apart from that, people have the interest to adopt this technology. Okay, so why we need electric vehicles is a very first question come into the mind. Like, we are doing so good, we all have all the facilities, we have the petrol pumps, the prices are okay, we can easily afford the vehicles, everything is good, like everything is existing, the maintenance, the repairing, the its infrastructure to fuel the fuel, its the energy, anything we talk about existing ecosystem, it's so good. Why suddenly we talk about need of the electric vehicles, need of the new mobility? Okay. So what could be the factors which is going to be important to look around why we need this kind of vehicles in today's time, right? So it's we call this a new era actually. So it's a new era of the mobility. In terms we also known as the new mobility or the new era. Okay. So first is the increasing pressure of the global the bodies and all. So we if you are aware of the Greece like Paris Pact. Okay, so Paris Pact in the meeting happened in the Paris, considering the global warming and other the concentrations happening to the environmental effect. And this is not happening in today's time. It is happening from, I think, existing from 1900s. The first body got in the CARB. We say the CARB. It is the California Air Research Board, right? So they have established their agency long back, monitoring the air quality into that, and that is why it came into the picture of the electric vehicles 200 years back. So but now the humans, as a human we have polluted, we have scared our resources so badly, so that now there is a requirement to save our environment, to require such kind of environment. So there is a global pressure to move something which is greener, which is sustainable, and which is also eco-friendly. Okay, so that is the one of the major requirement of this kind of a mobility, which is the climate change and all. Second is the changing consumer preferences. So since very long we have seen the existing same model, something is the similar thing, some product with some customization coming to your hand. But now the customer also want to have a very different experience with the vehicles. So now today's time we talk about AI enabled. We see a very great infotainment, a very dassy, robust, and very beautifully designed interior and exterior. So definitely looking, consumer preferences also changing. So that is why they want something a different, a vehicle which has also have the long range connectivity, which also gives the experiences. And also the technology advancement, of course, in this last 300 years, we have definitely have made a lot of technological advancements, and that is why if you compare the 200 years back technology of electric vehicles and you talk about today's electric vehicle technologies, a huge difference between these two technology, and that is why it is now taking over the IC. So there are a lot of myths which being promoted, like the first myth was being created by IC industry was acceleration, like the electric motor cannot provide the initial torque, and it cannot be like 0 to 60 within 1.9 or within 2 seconds. But Tesla, with the product called Roadster, they have broken that myth, and they have completely dusted that myth, and that they made a world record of 0 to 60 acceleration with the electric, and that completely beated the IC vehicles. Okay. Second was the range. Okay, so range also now gets been proven by the lot of companies. Like one is company name is the Tesla again. So Tesla has giving a full range of more than 500 kilometers in a single charge. Okay, there is a company called Rivian. Okay, there are a lot of companies actually, they have proven that yes, electric vehicle do have the range in a single charge. Second is please you can put your mics on mute. So these are the technology advancements comes into it, except the price, because now still electric vehicles are more costlier than ICE vehicles. It is almost 1x or 2x costlier, but it is also the prices is with the time coming down. So there are three major aspects to see why there is a requirement of electric vehicles. Somebody is asked you, it should be very clear that it's due to the global pressure on the environment, changing consumer preferences, and the technological advancement to the automobile field. So this is a typical architecture. I just ask from person who are from automobile or mechanical domain. Okay, you can just see the picture of the architecture of an electric vehicle. This is a picture architecture of a Jaguar I-Pace electric vehicle, right? Can you see this picture and see how the design architecture of IC vehicles and design architecture of electric vehicle, how complex it is? Is it complex or is completely simplified? It's a very modular, right? So when you compare those with these two technology, IC and the electric vehicle, IC has almost 2000 components, 2000 components. And when you come to the electric vehicle, it's only 20. It's 20 key components, not more than that. Right? So you can see the huge difference between two technologies into the terms of its architectures, in terms of its design, its terms of its components requirements. Okay, so this is a very interesting fact comes into picture. Like you have a 2000 components, so there will be a 2000 manufacturers building that components. So there will be, they are also directly related to the employment. But here we are talking about the less components, means less players manufacturing this, with the then we require a less employment. Okay, so there is a very good it's a point of a debate also, it's a point of a understanding also. Okay, I'm not going too much in detail talking about a lot of aspects because it will take time and it is a time constraints. So I'll just give you the two perspective of it. Somebody says this electric vehicle is coming and there will be a job losses. No, there will not be a job losses in the electric vehicle technology. It will provide a lot of job opportunities in that domain, because the components it's being used in the electric vehicle technology is going to be a completely different, and it is also going to create a lot of new job opportunities to the market. And this electric vehicle industry is more driven with the electrical things, electrical components. So let's say earlier the mechanical dominance was around. Anybody have any question? Please, I request to put your mic on mute for this smooth session. So let's talk about the different components of the electric vehicle, right? So on the right, if you see in the front, it's a completely the drive system. In the front, if you see the whole the systems put it mounted over there, it's a motor and controller on top of it, and it's have its control system for which controls the vehicle completely. And we have the motor. It's a Then second, the skateboard size you see into the grayish area, it's called the battery. It's a battery pack. Now you see the battery packs. Nowadays the electric vehicle has is a different for the mechanical engineers who are into the design and development. The chassis design of the vehicle is completely going to change when you're going to have build your career into the electric vehicle, because the battery is now a part of the chassis. So chassis design structure is going to completely get changed. So its aerodynamics also get changed, its vehicle dynamics also going to change. So whenever we are going to move in electric vehicle with existing knowledge, you need to revamp your some of the knowledge, because the design architecture of the chassis is completely going to change, because it have a huge weight within the chassis to support, because the batteries is one of like we are talking about the battery in the four-wheelers is somewhere around 90 kilowatt to 150 kilowatt. It's in tons. Okay, the weight of the battery pack, and that battery pack is completely attached with the chassis. So there are a lot of challenges into the simulation, the strength, the material selection, and everything. So when we talk about the electric vehicle, for the mechanical engineering, it's altogether a new field of study, new field of experiments, new field of doing hands-on knowledge for knowing this point, right? Even in the chassis design. Okay. When we talk about the powertrain systems, where we have the the completely the in the rear point of time, you see that is the completely the control unit systems of the electric vehicle. So I told you that now electric vehicles have the dominance of the electrical components. It's almost 60% the components are used in electric vehicles is completely focused and dominance of the electronics and electricals. Where we have the charging systems, we call onboarding charging systems. In the electric vehicle also come as a onboard charging systems. So we call this ASDCs, which can be also in charging systems comes the completely part of two things, is the embedded systems, mechatronics, and your computer science, CS, where the people who are working onto the machine learning, AI, and IoT, right, and the communication protocol, C++, this algorithms we use for the communication and the coding and all going behind it. Okay, so you see we have the mechanical engineering, we have the electrical engineering, we have the electronics, we have the computer science in it. Okay, so it's all together. You can see electric vehicle, when we talk about, it's a completely a multidisciplinary industry. Here are not like earlier, it is for electrical it's different, mechanical it is different, electronics it is different. Here you will be, it's an integrated approach of the departments or the domains, the skill sets, right? And automotive electronics, where we issue the CAN system, we have functional safety, so other things which come. So this is the complete architecture of the electric vehicles, which defines the core components, functionalities, and the departments. It's a completely the mergence of the department. Okay. So what we have understood so far is the world is shifting towards electric vehicle. Yes, the world is shifting towards electric vehicles. If you know that Tesla has become one of the most valued automotive company, leaving behind GM, Toyota. These are the market leaders. These are the world leaders into the IC vehicles, into the total valuation. It has left every company behind in just a span of 7 years. So Tesla has become one of the top most valued company in the world. Okay, with the electric vehicles, the level of the technology they're working, right? And in the terms of the selling also, so they have top notch all the sales across the world. So they are number one seller of the electric vehicles as well. Europe, America, Japan, and China, they have already taken the leads into the electric vehicles. As India, we are almost 10 to 15 years back from the world. Okay, we are still at a at least 0.8%. It is almost not 1% also, right? So in adoption of India is not only this, not a complete 1% as well. I think this year we are going to achieve somewhere around 0.8% of the electric vehicles in India. Okay, but we are one of the largest manufacturers. We are the largest consumer also. So that is why for the other countries, other players, India become the largest market to invest to come India, because we are one of the largest consumer also. So by 2030 and 2025, if we compare these two change happening, it is a golden era for automotive industry, where we will be also having 25 to 30% of our automotive systems completely working on the electric vehicle technology. Currently, we are up to somewhere around 15% to 20%. So we have seen that electric vehicles are intelligent because they are working onto the very high-tech technologies. We have a very high-tech CAN system also exist into your IC vehicles, but we don't use. There's a lot of I think in some of the existing upgraded technologies of the ICs you see in BS6, there will be some of use of the CAN system, but in electric vehicle everything is being communicated, done by the CAN system. We have the telematics in the picture now for the diagnosis, for its all the communication point of view. We are using telematics for the remote diagnosis, for collecting the data, understanding the data of the company. So electric vehicles are now not only the electric vehicles, but they are also the data driven vehicles also. So they produce a lot of data. So from data from the battery, data from the motor, data from the controller, data from the electronics, data from the riding behaviors. So these data are coming into the picture, and people are studying the data. So we see the big data. We talk about the big data science kind of a thing. So data science is directly associated with the electric vehicle. So you see the automotive, we have the data science or the big data. You say we have the IoT, AI, and ML integrated directly into the electric vehicle. So inner source of the energy is clean. Clean in the sense, I just put the clarity. Clean in the sense is the clean to the vehicle, not to the complete clean. I cannot say the electric vehicles are completely clean, because still we source the energy. 60% is the power from coal. So wherever at the landfills we are extracting the coals and burning for the electricity. It's not a pure electric vehicle. It's a pure clean. The clean word we can use at the vehicle level, where it is not just producing the emission. Okay, so this is for the technical clarity. So you should be very clear that electric vehicles are not completely clean, but yes, at the vehicle level, it have a zero emission. So we say it's a zero emission, not a complete clean vehicle, and that requires a complete different expertise. So if you've seen that as whatever in your syllabus, in your the practicals labs, you've seen the vehicles, and what I'm just showing some of the pictures here, you can just see how different it is from two existing technologies. And this technology is actually going to require a different level of the expertise, right? So maybe electrical electronics candidates knows this, induction mode. They have worked on the motor part, they have worked on the controller part, they have worked on the control mechanism, but the application will going to change completely. So when you're going to work onto the high voltage systems, okay, so electrical communication, electronics, electrical architecture of the vehicle is going to completely change. Okay, for the mechanical people, I just example I told you about the chassis. There are a lot of things like we have the battery packaging, we have the vehicle testing, we have the validation, we have the assembly. Okay, there are a lot of departments in the electric vehicles where you also need to know the know-how of the electrical. So mechanical people also need to upgrade themselves to some extent, that they should have a sound knowledge of the electrical and electronic components, because when you go to the industry, it will be an integrated teamwork. It's not going to be an individual department, right? So it's very important from the student point of view to, at this time, you need to understand when you are going to, I think if you are going to graduate in 2021 and 22, so there are a lot of scope will be in the EV industry. And when somehow luckily you get into the electric vehicle industry, so these are the things going to come into your forefront. So I think people who are in third year, they still have time. They have almost 1 year time to upgrade themselves, to take some good internships accordingly, to take some courses available onto the internet, either from Coursera, either from Udemy, either from Autobot Academy, wherever you find it. Upgrade yourself, develop your at least technical understanding, and also the your electrical electronics understanding also. So this is where we come into the picture. We have come forward into India, because when India was talking about, it got introduced in 2013, till 2013, 14, 15, and 16. We came into 16 actually. So there was nobody was talking about knowledge sharing, upgrading the people, helping them to understand what is electric vehicle technology. Nobody was there. So we have taken an initiative and came forward for some of the programs which actually help the industry people. First, we started with the industry also. Understand what is the electric vehicle technology, how it is being different. Still, in my knowledge, I have seen people still calculate uh, motor torque as a RPM, into horsepower, HP. Still, they have the habit to do that. Okay, but it's relatively very different when we calculate the torque power into its different ratios, right? So this has become very important for us to support the industry, support the academia, support the other stakeholders to upgrade their knowledge on this technology, and then accordingly they make their decision to go forward, right? So these are the something existing companies you already know. I think Tata, Mahindra, Renault, Hyundai, okay, Eicher. These all are the existing players, okay, which are driving the market. These people you already know that. But with this electric vehicles, there is a new set of industry got evolved in electric vehicles, which we call the startup ecosystem. Okay, so these are the companies which I have listed here. These are the companies who already have their vehicle live on road, or they are in process to launch their vehicle. There are more than 50 manufacturers of two-wheelers in India, and total, if I count, there are 150 companies so far got registered, if I'm not wrong, in electric vehicle industry. Either they are manufacturers, they are solution developers, they are service providers. So existing industry was there. This is add-on to the electric vehicle industry. So you can see the lot of potential coming into this. So this is 22 motors actually. We generally call the 22 motors. This is a Korean company, Ether Energy, which is a startup company based in Bangalore. If you are aware of this, this is a premium electric scooter. Hero Motors have invested somewhere around 400-600 crore of the investment in that. We have Avera, we have battery, we have Enflux, we have Pure AV, we have Torque Motors is a Pune-based company. We have the Ultra Violet. It's a high-performance motor sports vehicle in two-wheeler domain. When Ultra Violet, TVS have made the investments. Recently, I think 2 days back, they have again 30 crore investment made by TVS. Okay. Here we have the fleet operators. So one is the two-wheeler manufacturers. In four-wheeler, we don't have new entrants. We have the existing Mahindra, Tata, Hyundai. We have new entrants like we have the Kia and the Morris Garage, MG. So these are the new players. There are two new players into the industry. Otherwise, existing we have the Maruti. We have okay fleet operators. So these are the fleet operators like Ola. So Ola have separately created its electric division. Ola is also building the four-wheelers in support with the system. So these are the players. We have the commercial mobility. We have the three-wheeler manufacturers. So there are also the three-wheeler manufacturer. Not you can see the only Bajaj and other players are making, but we also have a couple of good three-wheeler manufacturers they are making. In four-wheeler manufacturer, you see the Celluloid e-mobility. So they are also working into the four-wheeler domain. We have the component manufacturers. These are the energy management systems. So see, these are the new segment also. Energy management system itself is a very huge industry. If you go and read about these things, you'll get a lot of clarity. Charging infrastructure. So charging is in itself, it's a very big industry. So charging is directly connected with the electric vehicle, but one is the electric vehicle industry, one is the charging vehicle industry. Okay, so charging infrastructure is altogether is a separate industry altogether. Okay. So these are something very important for you. We have listed some of the departments which are into the electric vehicles. So one is the battery, second is the powertrain system, thermal management system, wire harness, product design and simulations. It's completely going to be very different from what we've been doing. Even the software being used in the industry is completely different. Okay. Battery management system, as a part of the software, as a part of the hardware, we have two. If you divide battery BMS, we call battery management system. We have the software, we have the hardware. Okay. Then we have the charging and OBD systems. We have AI and IoT. We have automotive electronics. We have embedded systems. We have testing and validation. We have the control mechanisms, methods. We have the data analysis, motor control systems, CAN communication, grid management systems. So grid is another concept. When you go into the charging, these concepts come into the picture because these vehicles are getting connected with grid directly for charging. And also in coming future technologies, also your vehicle will also work as a generator. So whatever the energy stored in the vehicle, that can also directly send back to the grid. So it's called G2V and V2G concept. It's a grid to vehicle, vehicle to grid. It's a different concept. These are the things where we are working on to the power distribution or power electronics when you get into this. Telematics, one of the very important new concept get introduced, and a lot of being heavily used into the now upgraded electric vehicles. So version 2 electric vehicles by Mahindra, by Tata, being used by a lot of telematics. So in telematics, we are using a lot of things like remote diagnosis. So if you are aware of that, electric vehicle has a zero maintenance. If you're knowing that or not knowing that, I'm just sharing. In IC vehicles, you regularly, after some time, you go for your maintenance. But electric vehicles, you don't have much required for the maintenance, right? It's a zero maintenance. All your data, all your diagnosis systems, everything being controlled, monitored, rectified by telematics. So this is the very huge use of the telematics. Whosoever is working in the telematics area, it's a good future, and they can also take look into the taking some real-time hands-on industrial projects, doing the exposure. It's have a very huge requirement in the EV industry, and industry is working largely not with the only electric vehicle, but also the component manufacturer, like majorly the who are working into the charging, who are working into the battery manufacturing. These all people are going to need this telematics. Something we talk about the career opportunity. It's career growth opportunity is very important for you to talk on this point. And left hand side, I have just put it some of the figures for you to understand. So what is the potential of the job requirement into the EV industry, how it is going to contribute? So today time, I'm sitting in 2020, month of September, with COVID effect. I'll share you one fact with you. How many of you are aware of that? What is the impact of COVID on the automotive industry? Any figure? You have any clarity? What is the impact of the COVID onto electric mobility, on automotive, not electric vehicle, on automotive industry? Anyone from the audience can give me one figure? Any idea, guys? Speak up. Yeah, being the student, I think you need to be also communicative. It's very important to communicate with the people. This hesitance will create a lot of problems when we go for the job interviews. At least try to speak up with the people, try to interact with the people. This is very important when we are going to work in the industry. Nobody is going to question your thought. It's just an attempt to share what you are thinking, right? Can I have any figure from your side? Anyone?
So I do know that many assembly plants have been
Something
closed all
1.5
over the world.
in billions.
Okay, fine. I'll give you one figure. So with the corona impact, overall industry I'm talking about, there is a 3.7 crore of job losses has happened. In automotive, it's directly impacted on 10 lakhs. Somewhere around the figure is 10 lakh. Okay, the job losses happened. Automotive, right? When I say automotive, why I'm continuously saying automotive? Because automotives right now, EV is a part of the automotive at this present. Right now, automotive industry, 20% is EV only. So in complete automotive sector, only 20% being done on automotive. People are working onto the electric vehicles. By 2030 or 2025, not 30, 2025, this figure will go up to 45%. So 45% of automotive will be working on electric vehicles. In COVID time, 10 lakh job losses have happened in automotive, and which is from the automotive industry, not from electric vehicle industry. Electric vehicle, it happened, but only to the contractual and some of the job positions. When I come to the sales, the sale drop of the vehicle, because definitely once the sale is happening, the industry is growing, then there is a lot of opportunities coming. If sale is not happening, nothing is happening. Okay, 60% sale got drop of IC vehicles in this past 4 months, from April, May, June, somewhere around 60% altogether. Last week report was there in electric vehicle mobility. Even in this corona time, the sale got only impacted of 5%. Only 5% sales got dropped of electric vehicles. Even in the corona time, the demand of electric vehicle was there, the production was there. Only it got impacted not because of the project, not because of the fund, not because of anything. Only two things: supply chain got disrupted, and second, the people was not present, because a lot of labor class people who actually get into the manufacturing and the production, they left the facilities. They were not present to take the facilities production forward. So these were the only two, which was a very temporary impact on the electric mobility. And yet you can see now in current September, when from July the market got started recovering, and I have a figure like electric vehicles is getting on a very rapid, fast pace, and it is recovering now. The sales is also getting very boosted. So you see, even this corona time, the impact of corona was not completely, I would say, negligible on the electric vehicle industry. So why? because an electric vehicle industry is an evolving industry. Once you talk about evolvement, there is a huge space of what? Technology development, innovation. And when there is a innovation, there is an investment. And when there is an investment, there is a growth. Okay, this is very simple steps to understand. IC vehicles, excuse me, IC vehicles from 200 years now at a very saturation point. So it's almost at a saturation point. They don't have a further technology to transform the industry completely, right? So you need to understand from the engineers who have the career to build. I'm not talking about electric IC vehicles going to disappear in just 5 years. No, they are going to exist, but there are a lot of operations are going to get stopped, because when you see the comparison between that, even in BS6, a lot of compliances being made, which is directly impacting onto the components and other things, right? So it is also impacting onto the component industry directly. So component industry also subsequently transforming themselves to the electric vehicle, because they have to match with the technology which is going to lead the industry, right? So you see the potential of the electric vehicle. Even this COVID time, it has a very negligible impact on electric vehicles. You can see the demand and the kind of ecosystem getting inbuilt into the India. So till 2026, I just told you that 40 to 50%, 45 to 50% industry will be working on electric vehicle system. Expected new employment by 2024 is somewhere around 2.2 million. This is by the record given by the research agencies. Okay, it may have some, but the one very important factor is the career growth rate. In electric vehicle domain, if you take the career of 5 years, you have the career growth of almost 7x to 5x to 7x. Today, you start your career as a GET in 2020. After 3 years doing your job into that, any of the domain in electric vehicles, when you make a career change and switch, you have at least 3x to 4x change into your career growth. So this is the possibilities. This is the current opportunities being an engineer you should look at. And since it is the evolving market, so there are a lot of scope of opportunity and improvement, and you can play around it. It's a golden era for the people who are getting graduating in 2020, 21 and 22, because here you will have a very less competition. You have the huge space to get into this industry. But year after 2024 and 25, there will be a huge competition coming into the electric vehicle also, because there will be a largely adoption of the curriculum into the engineering domains. People will also getting more trained onto this part, and also there will be a, you know, that we have the, what is the bandwidth of the electric like engineers we have in India. It's almost 45 lakh every year enrollment is happening, and we don't have a bandwidth of giving 45 lakh jobs into the core domain, right? So it is very much important to understand the level of the competition you will get faced. So whosoever is going to make the career, who is going to graduate in 2020, it's a good scope. You should upgrade yourself, because even after that, nobody will entertain you in the interviews, because currently industry is looking for those who have some hands-on knowledge on electric vehicles. If you have some knowledge, some hands-on knowledge, industry is going to take you hand to hand. And we have seen into the past in our batches also, even the candidates who have taken the basic level of things, they have also doing the job into the electric vehicle industry. Okay, because the level of the knowledge he is having, his at least his concepts are clear what is being done into the automotive. And being a fresher, industry doesn't expect you too much from you. No, they don't expect the expertise from you. They just expect a very simple thing, which is a part of their job requirement, and they want you should know that basic. Otherwise, rest is the part of their job training, their product training, internal training, and it's a part of the learning experience. When you spend 2 years, 3 years doing the same thing, then only you will learn those things. Okay. So being a fresher, you don't have to fear about or being a mechanical engineer, how I can learn electrical, or how I can go into electric vehicles. A lot of myths and fear are there into the mechanical and automobile engineers. So I just wanted to clarify you this thing. It's very simple. We have the courses, something where we have trained the mechanical engineers onto the electrical things, right? And they are doing that. couple of the students really got into the industry also. Okay, so with our expertise, we have found a method how to upgrade the mechanical engineer on electrical thing. Not going too deep into electrical, there is a barrier to that because mechanical have its own profile into electric vehicle. So, but you need to have a know-how of the electricals, right? We are not saying that mechanical become the complete electrical expertise. No, but this add-on skills required, this add-on knowledge required to you to perform into the industry and also to crack your interview. It's very important. These are the battery embedded BMS. I just told you these are the hot sectors into the industry. Battery is one of the hot sector, highest paid department, and the profile. The material science is one of the highest paid because this completely goes into the research part. The embedded systems, the BMS, the powertrain, these are the profiles which is going to have a huge requirements and also is one of the good packages being paid by the good companies. Even the startup companies also paying a good packages in this too. So dedicated to this all industry requirement, industry technology upgradations, uh, uh, and also the current challenges happening into the college students, professionals industry, we have dedicatedly launched our one dedicated brand which is called Autobot Academy. So Autobot Academy, actually a lot of people were confused that Autobot India, we are also into the consulting, product development, also into the solution development. So dedicatedly now we have put it one brand and platform which is more focused to the solution development in learning, development, education completely for industry, for academia, and for also for the individuals. Okay, and this take cares of everything. Like if you want to get into the electric vehicle industry, Autobot Academy is a complete your kind of a partner. You can start your learning journey with the academy from the very beginning to your career. Even you are getting into the industry, you can associate with the Autobot India as a kind of a alumni, and you have a lot of benefits in that. Okay, tomorrow if you want to make a job change, you can come to Autobot Academy team and say that I'm being a part of this. The your batch. This you have your own ID card. You have your unique identity number. You can give it to that. You say that I'm facing some challenge. I want to have some references in industry. Our team will support you at that time also. So we are building a whole ecosystem, a community which can also not only offer programs and support you and empower you, but also time to time give you a helping hand whenever you require in your journey of your career, whenever you move ahead. So this is going to be a lifelong partner when you are going to work in electric vehicle domain. So this is the very unique concept, and it has a now the presence of online offline both, like anytime anywhere you can learn anything. We have that thing. If you were looking for something, come to learn by hands on, do projects. We do a lot of projects on electric vehicle industry projects. We have the facilities now, two facilities in Pune we have active. Okay, we have active facilities in Pune, one in Karve Road and one in your Pimpri area, right? So there we do lot of projects, and you can come if you look, if you want to learn something really onto the electric vehicle, you want to work on the industry projects. We have the project, we have the programs to join us. You do whatever you want to do, and this actually we are not doing in Pune. We have the plans to take this model to pan India. We have plans to expand our this academy offline centers to 13 metro cities. Okay, so next we are opening in Gurgaon. Next, then we are opening in Bangalore. Then we have Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Indore. So this is how it has been scheduled. So in coming to by 2024, we have our own targets to have our 13 exclusive centers available in India, wherever engineering students who want to have a practical industry oriented project and learning, they can come to our facilities, take the project, learn, and go to industry and perform. So this is the very simple thing we are trying to do that. Those who don't have the time, they don't have the access, they can also access our things from the online. And whenever they find time, they can come to our platform and do that. Okay. So this is a very 360-degree solution we are building. Also, we are also pushing to promoting to institutes that we have made a kind of a micro lab facility. where institute can implement in their campus. We can support the projects, we can support the the mentors, we can support the lectures, doing the either online if it is feasible for us in within the reach. We can also send our expert to time to time to the facility to interact, to supervise, to also help you out. So we are also empowering colleges to actually adopt this practical learning approach within their campus also, so that at least student can have the real time learning of the electric vehicles or this industrial projects. So this is a complete ecosystem being made not only for individual but for also the enterprises. It is for educational institutes, it is for your industry, it is for the government institutes, those who want to take the initiatives. We are currently working with some of the MSME government companies to deploy this kind of a module in Aurangabad and other MSME cluster areas. So these are things are happening and we are doing at a large scale. And because this is required, we think that this is very much required to offer a practical learning understanding rather than going with theoretical understanding. And this actually gives the empowerment. So our whole agenda is to empower you. Once you are empowered, you go and empower to other people. Okay. Once you are empowered, you can do anything else. You can do anything in the industry. So our job is to empower you with the right platform, right skill sets, right knowledge, right resources. Okay. This is the whole ecosystem what I was talking about of our the model, where we have Autobot India, where we have EVTLC. EVTLC is our Electric Vehicle Technology Learning Center. So this is our exclusive kind of a COE kind of a thing, center of excellence, for where we have, you'll get all the things. You get four-wheelers, you get two-wheelers, you get three-wheelers, you get lithium battery packs of 15 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt. You do it, right? We have that facilities available with us. So currently this facility is available in our Karve Road facility. And I think from Diwali onwards, we are opening, because due to the COVID time, that facility is closed. After Diwali, we are, after the government of Maharashtra notification, we are going to have that. Whenever you find after your summer time, we conduct 1 month program, which is a wonderful program called IICP. Okay, it's a 1 month EV boot camp. There we make a prototype from the scratch. And this is one of the only program in India we are conducting from 2017. Okay, and this being conducted in 3 cities at the same time, in Pune, Bangalore, and Delhi. So pan India, even abroad, students also come to participate during summertime. This year, somehow, due to this COVID, we were not able to do that. But next year, we are going to have another big round of things. And we invite a lot of things. And this 1 month give you a lot of perspective how to make an electric vehicle. And after doing this, couple of our students, they have also now the entrepreneurs. They are working in micro mobility, they are working in retrofitment, they are working in solution, hub motor development. So there are 7 to 8 entrepreneurs now we have. They are working. So this is the impact of this platform. We are not giving the training program. It's not we are not a typical training institute. We are a company. We are a specialized company. We are a solution developer company, and we want to develop a solution for India, for our Indian education system, for our industry, and for the government, which can actually accelerate the growth and the performance, and people can learn. So this is where we are working. And you can see the whole ecosystem, how the collaboration is happening, how industry is getting into the picture, how they are also getting benefited, how academic is getting benefited. So this is a very brilliant model being exercised, and we are exercising from last 4 years, and so far we've been successful in this. Okay. And we have built our own prototypes. So in IICP, we come for 1 month training. You build your own prototype. It is not like that assembling and disassembling. It's a new prototype. Every year we launch a challenge, and it's a challenge actually. In 1 month, there is almost 24 days. In 24 days, you have to work onto a new prototype from the scratch to build a vehicle, and a running vehicle. You need to test it also, right? So this gives a very different learning in 1 month, and this makes your summer very different. Okay. So students who are into final year, maybe it could be not possible, but at least in third year, they can look forward for this platform whenever it comes, right? And it gives you a very different experience in electric technology. So this is something we are doing, like I just told you about. EVTLC is our offline platform where this is currently deployed in three like one in Pune and one in Noida we have. Okay, now this is, we are scaling up to complete 13 cities. And also we have the Autobot Academy online platform. Autobot Academy actually is going to be online and offline. It will be supported, it will be a complete ecosystem for support. You see these projects are being done by our students after taking the course. They have done individually. So this is Stunner, Honda Stunner being retrofitted by one of our student from, I remember his name. He's a very bright student, Akshay Pawar. He's from Pune itself. He is the first. He is the participant of our first batch of 2018 in Bangalore. Okay, this guy. They have retrofitted as a final year project three-wheeler into a completely the electric vehicle. So they have retrofitted, changed a complete their e-rickshaw into the electric. So they made, you can see this is the electric three-wheeler, and this is they made there as a final project. And this guy is now has opened their own company into the micro mobility. After taking that course, he worked in Ashok Leyland for a while, and after that he opened his own company, and he's an entrepreneur now. Okay, so this is the level of the empowerment. This is the power of the course and the programs we offer, and the programs, because after taking this course, at least you are capable enough to make your own project, capable enough of making your own product. Because this projects what we build, is project being designed by our experts who actually work onto the actual project. We actually build the real electric vehicles, right? So that electric vehicle build expertise of our internal team and expert people, they bring those expertise in our training program. And that is why you are not learning a course, you are actually learning into the industry. I would say it's an industry learning directly, because we are also a part of the industry. We are the industry, because you see Autobot India, we are an industry. We are also creating this kind of a thing. This is another retrofitment of old vehicle retrofitted into the electric, right? So there are a lot of like this various projects being done by our students after going back to after this 1 month course. So we have that facilities where it gives the product specific training, so that it gives a very good advantage to you to crack your interviews, and also not only cracking the interviews, but also when you are going into the industry, perform it, okay, without being clueless what to do now, or somebody will come and teach you, then you learn. So you will be empowered by your own self. So this is the approach we take into the education completely, and this is a completely industry oriented. The level of we are actually working into transforming the industry which is existing. So those learning curves also get transferred to the academic level. So those experiences, those case studies, those real-time challenge problem statements also do integrated to the academics.